on Thursday. It's Blabbing for Britain, episode 200. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. Good morning, world.
Right, okay, now we're Brits, so we've got to start off with the weather. How's the weather with you today?
The weather was a bit dull up here today, and it's not as sharp though. It's not as sharp. It's quite a mild day, but not sunny. So
It's grey and overcast here. It's going to rain for the next 5 days, apparently, according to the weather forecast. And we're joined by, I'm just waiting for a thumbs up. No, cameras are being adjusted as we're joined by, no, wait for it. We'll do a grand presentation from Stoke in England. It's Mr. Stephen, 321 Silk. Good morning, Stephen.
Hello, morning. Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Ours. 200, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to us. I'll take my hat off to you.
Right. Okay, I've got echoes.
Is that me?
I think so.
What should I do? Reload?
I can't hear any.
Yep. You can't hear any.
No.
Okay.
No echo.
Right, it's gone now. Right, we're good. Right, how's the weather in Stoke, Stephen?
Gorgeous. The sun's out. It looks like about 90 degrees, and the palm trees and the waves are crashing gently against the beach. So it's absolutely glorious here.
Brilliant.
Like the frozen wastes of Aberdeen.
To everybody who's watching us today, welcome. We're waiting for Mr. John Upton. He should be with us shortly. So welcome to the show, and this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 200. All right. Okay. Well, some topics from the BBC website, first of all. I'll stop that scrolling because don't know if it's annoying you, but it's annoying me. I'll bring it back later. All right. Okay.
You're going to be singing later, Peter. You look like you're in singing mode.
No, this is my mode for going out. I'm going to be networking after this. Get noticed. The man with a hat who will kill your rat.
You're just making this up as you go along, Peter. I know.
I'm good at impromptu.
Morning, Kelly. Welcome. And we're joined by Mr. John Upton. 321.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Morning, John. That's probably a good idea. Yeah. Yes. Right. Okay. And we say hello to Paul. Or
Hi, up, Shuey.
okay.
Oh,
We're going to try again.
Hello.
Hello.
No. Are you on the laptop, John?
Yeah. I was lurking before down the bottom when you were all talking. So I recycled and came back in. So
Okay.
you didn't seem to realise I was down there. So I was wondering if I hadn't made connection.
Okay.
What are you cooking there? Wait, are you stirring something there? It was like you got a witch's brew.
Pasta, actually.
Pasta in the office. I love it. I love it.
Right. And from Kelly, happy Halloween. Looks like you're all dressed for the occasion. And from John, why are the three different size shots we get?
Well, it's down to each individual's camera, isn't it? And what the settings are on the individual's camera.
Yeah, that's true. I'm waiting for it to settle down because I've got an echo.
Not me today.
Cool.
Just a minute. Let's test. Right. Okay. No, it's not there. Just a second. Try there. How's that?
Fine by me, I think.
Peter, is that
Yeah,
good?
fine by me. Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, you've got an echo again, John.
Me?
Gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it
It's
was
not me.
There's no echo from John for me.
no,
Can we bear through it? Can we live through it?
we'll try our best. And Kelly's saying he's seeing the same size of frames. So, John, if you'd like to refresh, that would be good. And I'll take our names off because we know who we are. Oh, I lost John again.
John's a refresh.
Refreshing. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's refreshed. Okay, and right, okay. Okay. Right, I'll start with 10 then. Twitter is to ban all political advertising from November 12th. So you will not be able to advertise your political party on Twitter.
As a sponsored tweet,
Yeah,
you mean?
a sponsored tweet, yeah.
You'll still be able to rabbit on about stuff personally, presumably.
Oh yeah, you can still post anything you like, well, within reason, but you will not be able to use sponsored tweets.
And Facebook have decided against following Twitter, by all accounts.
Indeed. Well, just to put this in context, last time we had an election, which was 4 years ago, the political parties spent spent 3.3 million on Facebook ads and £56,000 on Twitter. So I don't think in the UK it's going to be a problem. Catching up with the comments, we're joined by Stephen is small. That has never been said. I can assure you he's not. We have met in real life. He's taller than me. Stephen is on an
I like
iPad.
to think it is perfectly formed.
Right, Stephen, can you confirm which device you're using?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mac Mini.
Mac Mini. Okay. And Sebastian's joined us. And good day from Australia. And John again. Very clear. Sound is fine. Okay. I think we're settled down now. And over to Sebastian again. Stephen's frame is incomplete. Peter's voice is distorted. Right. Peter, your voice is not.
Critic.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I think we're settled now.
Okay.
And Sebastian is saying, ban all politicians on social media is a great step for humanity. But Facebook are not going to ban it. I mean, it's income for them.
The only ban people they don't want to be there, probably.
Right. Is anything going on politics-wise this week, gentlemen?
No, it's been quiet, hasn't it, really?
Totally quiet.
Have you heard of anything, Peter?
Well, I'm just waiting. Do you know what's? I'll tell you what's going on in politics. I'll tell you what's going on in politics. All the snakes and turncoats have decided to retire because they're going to get slaughtered.
It's dependent on your definition of a snake and turncoat, isn't it?
Yeah, well, whose views you are.
The father of the house is also retiring.
But isn't it funny how many people are retiring?
Yeah,
No, of course it's not. Of course it's not funny at all. It's just a natural process of things. My local, the local MP up here, Paul Farrell, he's Labour. He's retiring, and
He might get beat.
excuse me, my right honourable friend. Shut the. Now I was saying, there's a natural turnover in these corrupt people.
No, there's not. Heidi Allen, from one to the other in a short space of time. You've got to be joking. They thought they would get away with it, and they didn't.
Well, we're going to find who's got away with it when we actually vote on 12th December.
I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'll be there at the polling station when it opens.
The shame is
voting for though.
Oh, that secret we've got. This is the secret we've got in our society. You may blatter on about something, then in the day, you just might put something you don't. Yeah?
Right. Just to confirm for everybody, the general election in the UK is on December 12th, and the parties don't get out the starting gates until next week, when they'll start trying to sell us.
Out of us.
I'm a free voter. I'm open-minded.
You're open-minded.
Yeah.
So,
I
the
will
speaker
listen.
retired yesterday.
Oh, thank God for that. What a little bully.
Who sits in his seat if Parliament meets before it's dissolved?
Who is it?
Can you guess?
I was watching this. Who is it?
It's Britain's longest serving MP.
Longest serving. Not that old guy, the Labour guy.
It's Mr. Clark. Kenneth Clark
Kenneth
will
Clark.
take the seat
I
as Father of the House. If it meets.
Remainer.
Did you know that he's been an MP since 1970, representing the same parliamentary constituency?
Isn't it Nottingham?
Yeah.
It's Rushcliffe in Nottingham. Yeah.
He must have been doing something, right?
Well, the things that you've seen.
It's my opinion he was the best Chancellor we ever had, but you know.
Never had.
We never had, yeah.
When he retires, he can write his memoirs, if he's not already written them, and we'll find out what happened
I hear
over the
talk.
last.
49 years he's been in Parliament.
Yeah, I hear tapping too.
I hear it as well, but it ain't me. I also hear crackles every now and again as well.
All right. Okay. Now.
But we've seen some very strange gremlins this last week.
Right. Will you be voting tactically, Peter, or will you just be voting for the party?
I will be voting who I think will do me what I want. Simple as.
Right.
Can't really do tactical voting up here, I don't think. You know.
Isn't it because the SNP have got it locked down? So
Well, they thought that last time, but a lot of SNP MPs got booted out last time. Yeah.
and what, Labour coming in or Tory?
Can I just say to you, when you hear Nicola Sturgeon coming on saying the people of Scotland, no, what she's saying is the SNP people of Scotland who voted us in. There's a load of people out there who don't want independence. So when she's speaking for Scotland, she's not. She's speaking for a part of Scotland.
Right, talking of tactical voting, we've been advised that our best bet is to vote Labour in devices.
Oh,
Which so tactical voting doesn't always work. There is no way on this earth that I would vote Labour, but that's a personal view. Just catching up with the comments.
putting a cross against for Jeremy Corbyn to get in.
I'm to leave the country if that happens.
We'd all be wearing little maxi tongue hats with stars in them.
What, and wearing T-shirts that say "I love the IRA"?
Yeah, and
I've got a.
I think that'll get to them.
I've got.
I think it's honestly photoshopped, the photo that's doing the rounds this morning, but of him walking in front of the hearse.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we're catching up with the comments. Right. Okay. Now, the other thing, we'll go off politics in a minute, I promise. But the other thing is that they are actually got a pact between the opposition parties that they will not stand against each other. Do we think that's a reasonable tactic? So
does that mean Labour won't stand where I live?
I don't know.
The Tories only won by a margin that is similar to the number of votes that Labour got.
Right, who's doing the pacts?
Lib Dem,
Anybody but the Tories, that's what they're saying, isn't it?
that's right, yeah. Lib Dems, the election, Remain parties in electoral pact negotiations. So the idea is simply to actually make sure that a Remain person is declared the winner or MP.
What a country we've become. We need to change this system. I don't know how you do it, but never have so many people been let down by a parliament. Really.
Proportional representation? That's
How
the
does that
next
work?
stop. But guess what? That's a European idea.
Never have such a country been let down by a party, the Tories, over the last 10 years. It's their fault that we're in this situation. Totally and utterly their fault.
By giving the country a referendum.
Absolutely appalling. Now, around here we've got a Tory MP in Stoke South. Tory MP. It's quite a close call, but tactical voting in my area, I think it's to be a Remain, and I am still on balance a Remainer. It's going to be well, it could be a Labour or a Liberal vote, couldn't it, round here actually? Mm-hmm. But
I know the Brexit party will actually. They're not going to areas where they know the Conservatives are going to. They're putting all the concentration in the north of England, yeah, where they will actually put their efforts into that areas to win. So at least they'll get into Parliament, I would think.
The thing is, the parties themselves are completely split, Remain and Brexit. So how, if you have a look at the odds for, the William Hill odds and odds checker, the Tories are sort of evens to get a majority, but less secure to get an overall majority. We are a prediction time. So I'm predicting another Hong Parliament with Labour being the majority, the biggest party. So Hong Parliament, Labour having the most seats. What about you?
I predict a Hong Parliament, and it will have to be a mix. And to get what they want, the Brexit party, the DUP.
Who's the biggest party you're predicting?
The Conservatives probably have the biggest party, and then second will come the Brexit party in areas, and they'll get elections, and the DUP, and between the three of them, they'll have to work out a deal if they win, and get together. Yeah. The problem the Liberals have got, they've said we're stopping Brexit. Now a lot of Labour voters aren't keen on that, so a lot of them will go there. I don't know how the split is in the Liberal Party about this. John, do you know, Stephen, do you know much about that? In the Brexit,
we're all not going, so.
Yeah.
So the whole Liberal Party,
it's Remain.
Nobody's broke ranks and said, no, we're not having that. Okay. No. The whips have got to them.
They are the only Remain party, actually.
You've got Conservatives leave the EU, you've got Labour leave the EU or Remain, and you've got Lib Dems who Remain.
Okay.
And Greens.
And what would you put in a second referendum if it was? I'll tell you what I would do. I would put.
Here we go.
Deal.
It's gone. It's gone.
Listen, this is fine.
It keeps disappearing for me, sound-wise.
So, deal.
Crackling.
We'll be losing your sound, Peter.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Right. So it should be deal. Get out completely. And that would be it. No Remain. Because the countries said they were leaving. No chance of remaining.
What about if
Deal or out?
if the Lib Dems if the Lib Dems win an overall majority, Pete, right?
Right.
They say, okay, we're going to revoke Article 50. Is that not democracy?
No, but I'll tell you what, they would get their way. They would get their way, but I'll guarantee you they'll be punished for the rest of their party time. They will be punished in some sort of way. I will never vote again.
Being democratic, is that what you're saying?
Undemocratic. The undemocratics. I wouldn't
So
vote again.
They're elected with, let's say, a huge majority. Let's say a Labour Party in the 90s.
But somebody's going to say, right, that was the first one. Let's do it over again. That's the two. That's the three.
Calm down. So the Lib Dems get voted in, majority of 40. And they then revoke Article 50 because that's what they stood on.
Yeah.
Is that democratic?
No. They shouldn't be allowed to say they're leaving because we had a vote. What was the point? What was the point in me? I went from my house to a local school and put my name down in a cross. What was the point of it? They wanted to slap me over the face and say, "How dare you!"
Some of his head's going to come off in a minute, and the blood's going to.
Okay, Peter, your green screen is struggling to keep up.
With your movement.
Right, now, apparently, according to Sebastian in Melbourne, we have some tapping. So I'm going to switch everybody's microphone off one by one. I'm going to do this scientifically. So I'm going to switch Peter's microphone off first. So that's Peter quiet for a second or two. If I could do it. No, it's not working. We'll carry on anyway. Right, okay, let's leave politics behind. And where should we go? Should we go to rugby? Just a shout out for the England rugby team who are playing, as Peter's gone entirely now, who are playing South Africa this weekend. Good luck, guys, in the World Cup final of rugby. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's just reminisce for a moment. What changes have taken place in the last 4 years for you?
Oh, what? Us?
Yeah.
Oh, there's got a dog underneath me.
Well, I'll start where you're thinking then. 4 years ago, I was a software developer. Okay, just a minute.
We're doing some dog sitting at the moment, and I think he was going to start barking.
All right, I was going to take Peter out, not literally, of course, but remove him off
Sniper
screen.
rifle or poison?
I was thinking I'm going to refresh. I'll be back in a second. What topic would you like?
We started with England rugby.
Right. Do you want to go on England rugby then?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, it's not my sport. It's above.
I'll be back
cricket.
in a second.
No, mine.
It's above cricket in the ball. No, below cricket in the ball stakes. But good luck to them, I think. I did like what they did about the V shape
Even though they've got fined for it.
Yeah, but that was part of the plan.
That's only peanut money anyway, isn't it?
That makes it newsworthy, doesn't it? But I don't know. I remember. Who was the guy who was always kicking goals for us? Johnny
Wilkinson.
So I remember the last time I saw a rugby match on the telly. I think it was a World Cup final, and he did it for us then. So it could be. It'll be exciting, and I'll probably nip in at the last 5 minutes and see what happens.
It won't be me.
So, am I on my own now? Or?
No, I can see you.
Oh, well, yeah. So, what do you think then? So, you're not watching it?
We can talk about Stoke City being bottom again, or we can talk about the Villa have actually got to the last 8 of the FA Cup.
we had that magic 2-match winning streak, and then it all went things up again. It's just
pear-shaped.
it's what do you do? I mean, as a fan, still only well, maybe not even a fan anymore. You know, it's sort of it's soul destroying. It is. It's being let down. We're all being let down by these clowns on the.
The bottom. Hello. Don't know why X-splits everywhere.
X-split's taken over. It won't go off.
Well, it just suddenly came up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I've been trying to cut off X-split, but it just takes over. Anyway, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Well, I can. Don't know whether anybody else can.
Mm-hmm.
Steve PH and I were talking about Stoke City.
Oh yeah, that's why I left. Hey, listen, Kevin.
We weren't talking about Stoke City when you left. We were talking about England rugby.
Kelvin Fagan. That's a name I haven't seen for a long time, but I do remember him. Now listen, John, did you see me the other day with my hat on?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think? Yeah?
Did I think?
Yeah.
Well, very good question.
Don't take too long.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra, lookalike attempt. I'm convinced the crackling's coming from you, by the way, Peter.
From me?
Yeah,
Right.
from the neck microphone that you've got.
It's not a neck
Well,
one.
that was good. We were happily talking away, and then we got X-splitted. I don't even have X-split, so it wasn't me.
I use this is the microphone. It's big one like that. That's the mic. So I don't know. It's got a thing as well. Anyway, it's maybe my phone. It's near or something like that. Maybe giving vibes.
Calling
Anyway.
Stoke. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank God. Right. So yeah, dead exciting match next week. I think if we lose that one, he'll go. It's got to go. But people are talking now about whether it's possibly going down to the next division or probably going down. Lots of games to
Doing
go.
a Sunderland.
Eh?
Doing a Sunderland.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's that bad. The players are atrocious. You know, you watch the first 20 minutes and you think, these guys are being paid lots of money and they're just absolutely bloody atrocious. So it's prediction time again, and I'm going to predict now that we're going to get relegated, which won't be good.
I'm going to predict that we'll be in the first half of the table.
What about how's the Villa doing? Did they get? Oh, Southampton got stuffed 9-0.
Yeah, the Villa aren't doing too bad. They're sort of mid-table-ish.
That's brilliant news for them. Got to keep on hold of that money.
They're in the last 8 of the cup.
Ooh. We're not.
Well, I'm going to predict that Burnley stay in the top half of the Premiership.
Now, what's all the dirt on the under-23 Burnley's under 23 manager.
I've no idea. I don't follow it. I don't follow the under 23s. I just follow the main Premiership team.
It was one of the lead stories on BBC Sport yesterday.
I don't watch.
They don't know why he's been suspended either.
I've no idea. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Right. Okay. It wouldn't be Blabbing for Britain if there weren't technical hitches, and I think we've had it now. I think we should be okay. At least I hope so.
Well, we haven't time travelled yet today.
No, that was fun. That was Monday. And,
it was very difficult to watch.
Yeah, it was very difficult to be part of as well. Okay, one of the topics that we should cover is Grenfell.
Stop blaming the flipping fireman.
Well, at least the Baroness has apologised. What a terrible thing to say. I've got to say that.
So what's that, mate?
Basically, they said they didn't come fast enough because there was ethnics.
Jeez Christ.
Because they were what, sorry?
Because they were ethnics. Baroness, is it Lawrence, or son was murdered in London, and she actually said they didn't respond because they were all ethnics. Yeah, let's burn them, watch them burn. It was an absolute disgrace. A disgrace. She's eventually apologised.
Yeah,
And how we'll love to get people. That woman that was the fire commander, she'd been there 6 months. What about the previous years? It was the same policy. You go to the fire, you tell people to keep tight, stay where you are.
I mean, they told them to stay where they're on, based on the architect's information, which was that there were individual fire barriers between every flat. So,
and was that?
Yeah. The problem was they didn't know it was going up the outside.
There you go. You see, no, I was on the Piper Alpha the week before it went up, the Piper Alpha disaster. We were all told in an emergency look at to go to the galley and wait for helicopters to come for you. Guess what?
That's where the fire was.
They all died. Do you know who survived? Them it said, F this, and some of them jumped into the sea. They climbed as low as they could go and jumped into the water. They survived. Human instinct. Just do what you've got to do to live.
So I think the survivors group attacking the fire leader because she said, if you went there again, would you do the same? And she said yes, because she's saying yes based on the information that was available to them. The fact the information turns out to be incorrect, it's not really her fault.
No. And she says on hindsight now, knowing what we know now, I would have done something different. It's scapegoating. Scapegoating.
It is. It is a sad situation. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's change.
Becky says you need a big feather in your hat.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, yes. She's changed it to grouse.
Gross.
Becky probably doesn't realise that German is your favourite language.
Yeah, the planet is run by a...
It was gross, now it's grouse.
Yeah. So, I've always wore hats in my life, from being a soldier, and I wore a cap when I was delivering milk, and I've always been a hat person. And as I say, on Saturday night, when I'd done the Frank Sinatra type thing, I got a potential booking for a win. Then I went into my local pub, and I've never had so many people come up and compliment me for wearing a hat. Question is, guys, do you wear a hat?
I've got a woolly bobble hat from when it's cold or raining down the allotment.
I've got one of those too.
And do you know what? It says England Rugby on it.
All right, okay.
No, I'm not into England Rugby. I just happened, and it has a rose on it as well. I just happened to buy it in the bargain bin at Aldi
Yeah.
after the last World Cup.
And in the early days of the Aberdeen Oil, everybody wore baseball caps because it was an American thing, and they handed out baseball caps for them, and everybody basically wore a baseball cap. Now, I wear a baseball cap in my business, but the other two guys don't wear hats. Did I tell you I employed a 67-year-old man?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
About 3 weeks ago now. Never let age be a barrier. Brought him in, says, I'll treat you the same as India. I'm 67. And for a 67, he gets up and he does 10 press-ups every day. Very fit man. I says, I'll treat you the same as anybody else. Let's get going. Brilliant. Quick learner, sharp as a tack. And this is your 67 now. Don't die over a weekend. Make sure you come in Monday. He used to be since like Cuba. Anyway, back to the host.
Me? I'm listening this week.
All right, okay. Now, do you wear a poppy?
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is my one. Do you want to do a close-up?
Just a minute, Peter. I'll give you a close-up.
Right. This is my one.
We're hoping. No, I can't give you a close-up, but we can see it. We can see it.
Terrible.
So this is my badge of the Royal Scottish Dragoon Guard. That's my regimental badge. Now, these aren't made by the British Legion because they've got the rights to the poppy, and people say, oh, into poppy tins, etc. So, but this is just my regimental one. People have made it, but I still pay money into the poppy tin, and just about every regiment's got their badge now. And it's a great opener. I'm going to wait an exhibition today, and people maybe mention it and say, oh, and it's great for bonding with people. No, I've got to tell you, I'm not one of these guys that usually wears a poppy all the time, although I'm an ex-soldier, and I wear it on poppy day. But if you don't want to wear a poppy, fine. It's up to you, and I've got no problems with it whatsoever. But don't tell AMD, in my view, not to wear a poppy. They can wear it if they want. And the British Legion's got a very good lot of video. Must have been made by InVideo, I think. It's a very good little video telling you what to do with a poppy, where you should wear it, etc., etc.
The fact that the leaf should be at 11 o'clock, it should be on the left-hand side.
Do you know what it actually says? Do you know what it actually said? And this is a British Legion video. Wear it wherever you want. As long as you remember. There's no official way. There you go.
I was going to say that, that might feel like the middle of my three. He works with people, elderly people, many of which have dementia. He came home with a gift from one of his ladies who's in her early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
She sent home 2 poppies that she'd crocheted, one that red and one white.
Yeah.
She's crocheting them and selling them to raise money for the British Legion, but she actually sent one of each home. And of course, the red one is remembrance and the white one is peace.
Yeah. But the red one doesn't represent war. The red one represents the people who sacrificed lives.
There's remembrance, isn't it?
Remembrance.
That's what I said. Red is remembrance.
I can't start. I can't.
No.
The actual ceremony from the Albert Hall. I can't watch that anymore. Just can't watch it. It's so emotional, and it's too much, man. Too much. But, my lad's coming up to Stoke on because he's leaving, Pete.
Is he leaving? Is he?
Yeah, he's out in about 96 days' time. Not that I'm counting,
right.
But he's coming up for the Stoke Memorial thing, and Remembrance Day thing, and we're all going up to sort of watch him, and that'll be his last one.
I think you've met your match, Peter.
Who is?
Yeah, your match is definitely Becky Merry.
I was just wondering, who's
If
this?
you, she's a friend of Stephen's with a V's. If you read that, she's ranting in the, she's doing a Peter style rant in the comments.
Yeah, I think it's possibly one of the first times that Becky's actually watched us. Becky is a friend of Hans Chamberlain's, and she's in mine too. She's in Cambridge, and she joined. Quite happy that she joins our I Live Here show on Tuesdays, and she's right. You're eating breakfast again, John. Right.
That's quite interesting, Becky, because in England now we cannot fly the Union Jack without it offending people. I absolutely agree with you. Even worse, some people can't fly the English flag, and that's coming from Scotland. And did you know, guys, that there's actually an English Democrat Party building up? They want their own parliament, an English parliament. What's your thoughts on that?
Independence for England.
Yes, they're wanting an English parliament.
Yeah.
Because
do we have to include Northern Ireland?
We've got a Welsh one. They ain't got an English one. Yeah. Thoughts?
Pete, this system you're using is screwing your picture, mate. It's so pixelated.
I can't turn it off. I've tried.
Yeah, the only way is to restart the machine and go straight for. Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, now it'll come as no surprise, hopefully, because none of us qualify for this. But the most happiest people in the world are the people who are the most horrible. Narcissists are horrible people, but they're happy.
Of course they are.
Yeah, it is quite. I mean, it's quite self-apparent that would be true, and we shouldn't really name any. We shouldn't. Peter's gone. We shouldn't really name anybody.
He's still full screen, as far as I can tell. Is that right, Stephen?
I know full screen XSplit.
I'm trying to get the XSplit away. Sorry, guys. I'll be back.
Okay, Peter's disappearing. I'm going to disappear for a moment as well, if I can. What would you like to talk about?
Well, we can't see anybody. It's completely.
You can't
black
see me.
now. No.
I'm in the centre of you two at the moment, and the quality.
All I can see is a black screen.
Okay. Right, we've got all going to have to refresh. Let's take it in turns. I'll go first. And your topic for 10, if you can see it, is Vauxhall fears on Ellesmere Port after the car giants Fiat and PSA announced merger.
And the idea why they've announced it, or why they want to do it, is it just power or consolidation? John, can you hear me?
I can hear you, can't see you.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Becky says we're here just to line their clouds. Things
right.
have...
it
looks like we've got the bug that we had earlier in the week where everything is not lining up any longer.
What else we got? Oh dear, that's not good. Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. You ever like Morrissey, John?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Not my scene. He's just not my scene, you know.
Julianne Moore, have you heard of her? She's an actress.
Who?
Julianne Moore. She's called.
I've heard the name, but don't know anything about her.
People have effing had it. Julianne Moore calls Johnson a clown. Apparently it's supposed to be an electric battery breakthrough to revolutionize charge times, according to Independent.
Yes, you can charge to full in under an hour, apparently. But you can still only do 180 miles.
Oh, right, yeah, of
it's
course.
Hardly needed.
Won't change, will it?
Why can't they have a dynamo
just the way
battery?
Topic it up.
He's back.
Why can't they have a dynamo
I can't see anybody at all in Be Live. but I can see that there's 3 people on display
I can
in
see you,
Facebook,
John.
so I'm not at all sure what's going on.
You'd be better refreshing. Simply because they cannot exist alone. Most companies will merge. It's
Is there
listen,
anybody out there?
Becky, yes, I'm here. Right.
Yeah.
Becky, let me tell you something.
I can't see you at all. Can't see anything.
Refresh, John.
I'm going to refresh, chaps.
Yeah, okay. So this is for Becky. Simply because they cannot exist alone. Most people merge all the time. It's a sign of the times. We're moving on. And if you don't adapt, you will die. Simple as that. So the big companies will start merging with each other. It's got to happen. Can't keep going on like this. Right here.
Okay, I'm going to bring John back. He's just returned. He's talking to himself. But
Okay.
okay.
Again.
I'm always bloody talking to myself. It's supposed to be a good trait, talking to yourself.
Yeah. Perhaps as well. Okay, let's do a head count. Present.
Oh, present and correct.
All right, and John's saluting, and Stephen's saluting.
Yeah.
Right, I think we're all back now.
Okay.
So that was the adventure, second of the show. Okay, where do we go from here?
200 episodes. Who'd have thought?
That's true. Indeed.
And where will we be in the next?
Did you mention YouTube?
What's that?
You can mention YouTube, Peter.
Well, we're broadcasting there in the future.
We will be broadcasting to YouTube. Well, will we be capable of broadcasting to YouTube in the future? Whether we actually go there is a different question altogether. I mean, the problem is that if you technically, it's possible, and we could go to YouTube after this show, but it's not being released at the moment. But the problem is we've got people watching us here on Facebook this morning, and thank you everybody who's joined in. Where if you go to YouTube, there is no audience, and on social media, if we're going to interact with people, then we do need an audience. So whether thank you, Becky, and thank you, Kelly. I think yes, I've got Kelly as well, and we're all 4 here.
Right.
You've got to actually build an audience, and we don't have an audience on YouTube at the moment, so we'd be starting from scratch. That's nothing new though. We've done that, but technically, it would be better because I think YouTube is video and it's used to video and it's nothing but video, and so we'll have to take a. This is. I mean, the thing about this, since we started Blabbing for Britain, this is a democracy or a benign whatever. So we've all got to vote. We've all got to vote. Okay.
Blabbing for Britain was a replacement for Guinness, wasn't it? And
it was, yeah.
Stephen moved southwards, so we ended up using a camera to talk to each other as opposed to going down the pub, which is what we did before.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been down in Wiltshire now for 7.5 years, and I'm not going back to the Midlands. Not that there's anything wrong with the Midlands. I'm just quite happy down here in wonderful Wiltshire, close to Stonehenge and Salisbury and Avebury and everything.
How is Salisbury doing, by the way? Have you recovered from the Russian attack?
No, I think it's recovering slowly. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. The local council keep running free parking to entice people into the town. It will recover, but it's a struggle. Most of the shops are still there and struggling to carry on. And we're going over there not next week, but the week after. We do our bit. We go to Salisbury. We don't. You've got to carry on life, haven't you?
Yeah. Here's something you might not know. according to the Guardian, yeah,
Guardian.
that the city that's going to be most affected by Brexit is where?
We're waiting with bated breath, Peter.
Aberdeen.
Dover or Folkestone?
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. Why?
Negatively or
I
positively?
never really looked into it. I mean, we were in a bubble, and now we're out of the bubble. We're like normal. We're like a normal city again, and we are struggling. Even the taxi fares this morning, there's a big riot in Facebook with the price. And we're expensive. A job that's maybe £12 for a taxi ride down in Glasgow, it's about £6. Okay?
Yeah.
And they won't let Uber in. Up in Aberdeen, every taxi driver, even the private hire companies in Aberdeen, they must sit the taxi knowledge, even if you're a private hire. And that's why Uber didn't get in here. They're terrified of Uber coming in because it'll decimate them. It'll absolutely decimate them. And I've got a friend that's a taxi driver. And I've got to tell you, I've used Uber and I did enjoy it. I like the convenience of it. Have you used it?
Yeah, I've used it.
Yeah.
Used it in the States and then used it locally around here. And it's been a sort of mixed bag. So one guy tried to kill us a few times.
Right.
The guy decided to go from Stoke to Hanley, 5-mile trip via Liverpool. When you try and talk to them, you need Google Translate to do it. And on other occasions, I've called them. They're here within 5 minutes. And straight there, no problem at all. So I think that because we're talking about people, it's always people, isn't it? The same people who do stuff in other taxi companies, just the same people doing it for Uber. It's just a model.
Here they've got to be registered a bit like Aberdeen with the council. So unless you pass the council's scrutiny, you can't be an Uber driver.
Yeah, it's scrutiny, but other ones have got to know the street knowledge. But I don't think that's necessary nowadays with satellite navigation, etc. I don't think that's really necessary.
It is annoying though when the taxi driver doesn't know where the hell you want to go.
I know. I once took a trip to Birmingham. It must have been near you, John Upton. And beside a Land Rover place, I was staying in a guest house there. And I jumps into the taxi before sat-navs and everything. Says the guy, "Take me to such and such, please." And he said, "Do you know what it is?" I says, "You're meant to tell me, John."
But nowadays we've got sat-nav. And sat-nav makes sat-nav is now come of age. And
Yes.
it doesn't make a great change. I mean, you just type in the postcode and you get directions to get there. You get alternative directions.
However,
Google Maps is awesome.
However,
I never use the damn thing. It's in my car, built in.
yeah, we
Which
use
one is that, John?
Sorry?
Which one have you got built in?
What's the well-known name?
I'm trying to think of it.
TomTom.
Yeah, are they still going?
Yeah, well, every quarter they tap me up to say, "Would you like to buy the latest versions of the maps?"
Right. Well, I'll tell you what I use. It's one called the WAZE. I think it's actually owned by Google. Now, I've seen me going out to the country, and they've put me to the left side of a hill, and the postcode's actually to the right side of a hill. So WAZE, Waze, it gets you there. And what it's also got built in, guys, so when say you had a shop, and you were passing the shop, it'll actually pop up with your name as well. So you can advertise with Waze. Has anybody heard of it?
WAZE, yeah.
That'll be a Bluetooth thing then, won't it?
So, yeah, so that we use it. It's fairly accurate, and it updates quite a lot,
I just take the SD card out the car and every now and again and back it into the reader. Okay. And it will do all the free updates.
gone quiet. It really does.
Yeah.
Blabbing for a
No,
bit. Episode 200.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just us, though, isn't it? You know, a big milestone, and we were just sort of thinking, "Ooh, that's interesting."
Do you know what I was expecting today? 11 o'clock tonight, just before midnight.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson pops up and said, "Fooled you all. Because of this bit of legislation here, brought out by Dominic Cumming, we're out." That would be so funny. But it's not going to happen.
Nice one, Peter. Nice one.
I mean,
expecting it.
this is the third time that we've not left. Do you think that means something, Peter? They keep telling us.
It means they should never ask the plebs, us, to have a vote again.
Ever.
We shouldn't be asked. We're too simple. We're simpletons. We should never ask to be a referendum again. Never.
We just stand.
One more, Pete.
We're not capable of it.
Just one more, then. Just a little wafer thin one. A little wafer thin.
No. I'm not
Just two options.
Yeah. Leave. No. Stay or remain. How about that, mate?
Do you know what I'm going to really enjoy, right? I don't care anymore. Honestly, I don't care. It's not going to make any difference to me, to be honest with you. I don't care anymore. Just if I go on holiday. But I always take my, what do you call it? My travel health insurance anyway. I'm just going to love the day after. The repercussions there's going to be. And it's going to be so much fun. So much fun.
We're possibly looking at different days after, Peter. I'm looking to the day after,
right,
when we don't leave and nothing changes and we just get on with things.
Right.
That's my day.
Somebody has got to have a ruling party. We've got to have some sort of leadership one day. We've got to get this country back on being steady, and deal with other things.
That's right. I mean, we spent all this time on Brexit, and everything that does matter is just being handled by civil servants.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's caused such division within families and people not speaking to each other, and that's happened to me. I know that. I've got different views but I speak on here my views, right? I don't really speak much out of here about it, believe it or not. When people say, what you doing? I say, I don't say. I'll just keep it for the day of voting. And that's God's honest truth. Because I'm a liberal at heart.
I am not voting Labour, even to help the cause.
You would rather get the Tories in than have Labour?
Well, I've met our Lib Dem candidate.
Right.
I'm voting for her.
Right.
Because it used to be when we go back, I mean, MPs were selected at random on who they knew, and then we got to vote for them, and we were supposed to vote for the person with the best qualifications who would help our town or city.
Yeah.
And that's I think we should get back to that, where you actually vote for the best person, not for the, well.
What is going to happen to last time's UKIP vote? Because the UKIP vote, if that was added to the Liberal Democrat vote, and some of Labour tactically voted Liberal Democrat, we could kick the Tories out in Solihull.
I think, well, obviously the leaders left this week. How strange. I think that UKIP are finished, and I think their vote will go to the Brexit party. All their votes will go to the Brexit.
Not the Tories.
No, not the Tories. They'll go to the Brexit. UKIP are one out of Europe, and they will get their votes as far as I think that's what I think.
Okay. Well, John, it's over to you.
Is it that time already?
Yeah, we've had some fun this morning. Let's just get the banner scrolling, make sure we know where we are, who we are, and can I get it?
It's the 200th time that Stephen and I have been broadcasting with our friends who've also joined us later on. Can't remember where it was, about 50 something when you guys joined, wasn't it? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Blabbing for Britain, 200. That's 200 weeks. We've only missed a couple over that time, but we've done 200 real broadcasts. So that's 4 years of Blabbing for Britain. Exciting, really, isn't it? So it's time for us to go. Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye from the man in the hat from cold and dreary Scotland, the man from Stoke-on-Trent whose palm trees are swaying in the wind, or is it a hurricane that they're swaying?
No, it's beautiful here, 90 degrees.
It's quite pleasant here, actually. It was really nice yesterday here, and Stephen stuck a thumbs down, so I'm assuming that in Yorkshire the weather was horrible. Anyway, and then it's Stephen down in our southwest correspondent from the northeast of the southwest. And then it's from me in Soho. So it's goodbye from us all. Episode 201 next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's
and thank you all of those who watched.
Live.